If you've been in DC for the last few days, you might have seen something that made you sick to your stomach. And I'm not just talking about the ICE agents who literally took the stop and go construction guys, pinned them to the ground, and took them away, causing a 30-minute traffic jam in Bethesda, and their families to go into terror and grief. No, it wasn't just that. It was cranes tearing into the East Wing with no mercy and no permission. Yep, the East Wing, the part of the White House that's been there since 1902. The one where First Ladies worked, including Melania's current office, where she launched her legendary Be Best campaign, hid the presidential bunker and the presidential emergency operations center, which doesn't sound important at all. Because Donald Trump has decided that what America really needs right now, when the government is shut down, there's no negotiations happening, and federal employees are literally going to food banks to feed their family, is a $300 million ballroom. Because apparently democracy doesn't need leadership. It just needs a Midas touch. And we all know how that story ended. Betty Ford had a quote for how special the East Wing is. She said, "If the West Wing is the mind of the nation, then the East Wing is the heart." Well, considering Trump has no heart, it makes sense he would tear out the heart of the White House as well so that at least they could match. And the American people are not into it, or not about that life, as the Gen Zers would say. The poll numbers are brutal. According to a new YouGov poll, 50% of Americans just disapprove of the so-called renovation, only 33% are in favor, and when asked about demolishing the East Wing in particular, 53% said no dice, just 24% said yes. Even amongst Republicans, less than half support the East Wing demolition. But Trump insists it'll be one of the greatest ballrooms anywhere in the world, anywhere, the best, the most tremendous, the most tremendous. Translation, Mar-a-Lago comes to Washington. Now, Carolyn Levitt claims that Trump was reelected because he is good at building things. I'm just wondering, is she referring to the Trump Taj Mahal in Atlantic City that filed for bankruptcy within a year of being built? Or maybe, wait, it was definitely the Trump Plaza Hotel and Casino, bought for $400 million in 1988, that declared bankruptcy in 1992. Or you know what, it was probably actually Trump Ocean Resort Baja, which was abandoned in 2009 after Trump failed to deliver and resulted in lawsuits from buyers. Oh, and that's in addition to all the small business owners he's conned out of money by refusing to pay them in all of his glorious buildings. That's right, he's so good at building things. Oh, he's such a builder. Let's discuss. What an amazing man. He's such a good builder. I think what she really meant is that he's so good at destroying things, including American democracy, American history, and now American historical architecture and the White House. And why? Trump said, and I quote, "They've wanted a ballroom for 150 years, and I'm giving that honor to this wonderful place." Oh yes, Donald, they, this mysterious, imaginary group of White House historians, are lying awake at night whispering, "If only we had a Vegas ballroom with a chandelier the size of the national debt." Now, there's been some great memes of people responding with what else Trump could have in store, including a new Trump Tower attached to the White House, and his own personal McDonald's. I was thinking he might go along the lines of Putin's palace with an aqua disco, a fountain choreographed to laser lights featuring evil sea creatures, maybe a village people room, and then something like Putin's famed hookah lounge with a stripper pole, which he could name in honor of his belated bestie, the Epstein room. But this isn't the first time that he's massacred history. Remember Melania's Rose Garden massacre? A garden that symbolized grace, diplomacy, continuity, torn up overnight. Crabapple trees, adios. Colorful flower beds, don't need those. In their place, she put in concrete white pavement and white roses like it was a mausoleum, which makes sense because it now feels like it should be for dead people. That wasn't gardening, it was an erasure of history, just like the names of women, minorities, and LGBTQ history makers who are mysteriously disappearing from government websites, literally taken out of our history. Trump's philosophy, if it's beautiful, historic, or meaningful, pave it. If it's tacky and self-glorifying, build it. So I know you're going to be really shocked, but this was not legal, and he didn't even attempt to go through an approval process to make it legal. Well, because this is Trump. He can be convicted of multiple felonies and still win the presidency. He can be convicted of sexual assault and still win the presidency. The National Trust for Historic Preservation has begged him to stop demolishing until a legally required public review happens, but of course he stacked the Oversight Commission with his own loyalists back in July. So keep tearing away. I'm also wondering what construction workers are working there, considering they keep arresting construction workers, and who would be willing to work at the White House. ICE just keeps taking construction workers. Classic Trump playbook is to destroy it, justify it later, or not even attempt to justify it because you just don't care. The Republicans in Congress are the weakest and most morally bankrupt people in human history, and Trump doesn't have to be accountable for anything. Welcome to America, land of the free, home of the most reckless president in American history. Ask forgiveness, never permission, although forgiveness usually requires remorse. Now, the original estimate for this ballroom was $100 million, but now $300 million, just a couple more dollars, because of course it is. He treats budgets the way he treats facts, elastic and irrelevant. The bigger they are, the better it is. And naturally, he's not even the one paying for it. He threw a $250 million donor dinner with executives from Amazon, Apple, Meta, Google, Microsoft, Palantir, and Lockheed Martin. Because nothing says public service like billionaires funding a president's vanity project while civil servants are furloughed and at food banks. Oh, and when we took away the largest donor of foreign aid in the world, the U.S. Agency for International Development. Can anyone say bribery for lax regulations on those technology companies? I'm just a guess. What's so galling about all of this, it's not just vulgarity, it's the disrespect. Every president before him understood that the White House isn't theirs, it's ours. It's a living symbol of democracy, each generation adding something meaningful to it. Trump, he's bulldozing it. It's not preservation, it is plunder in plain sight. And he is stealing it from us, from every single one of you out there. He might live there, but it is our White House, and he does not have the right to demolish it. Let's be clear. Real leaders invest in people, not parquet flooring. They preserve legacy. They elevate others. They understand that service is more important than ego. Trump isn't a leader, he's a brander. He's a seller. He's a marketer. This isn't about creating something beautiful, just like the big bonehead bill was not about creating something beautiful. It's about erasing something sacred and taking something away from us yet again. Across the globe, people are watching the dismantling of the White House and thinking, well, so much for the land of the free. When my friend showed me the demolition cranes when I was in Luxembourg, I actually thought it was an Onion article. I thought even Trump couldn't be that audacious, just destroying the East Wing all of a sudden. Well, I was wrong. He is. Xi Jinping is probably sipping tea thinking, man, that place is a literal wreck. This guy is dumb enough to destroy his own house. And Trump's like, yeah, but wait till you see the grapes and then feeding me grapes in a golden chariot as I make my entrance with Satan. Oh, I mean Melania. Melania paved over the Rose Garden. Don is now paving the Republic. And through it all, we're watching history get flattened, literally and figuratively, under the weight of one criminal's ego. The White House doesn't need a ballroom. It needs a backbone. Thanks for watching, and hit like, subscribe, and tell me in the comments, if you were redesigning the White House, what would you add? Personally, I'd start with a community garden, one that actually blooms, and walls, lots of walls and laws and checks and balances, but walls that are actually keeping our democracy intact. Because what's being destroyed isn't just a building, it's our values, our democracy, our reputation, and our livelihoods.